You know, I was standing around the other day sticking a nail into my eye when I found myself wondering, how can I get this exact same experience without getting all this blood over my shirt? Then it came to me. It was time for another visit to our favorite website, Everyday Feminism. Hey, Everyday Feminism is the website that includes articles accompanied by an editor's note, and so help me, my hand to heaven, I am not making this up. Articles that are accompanied by an editor's note that warns readers, quote, "This article is written by a cisgender woman about the social expectations that she experiences having a vagina. Please keep in mind that not all women have vaginas, and not all people with vaginas are women, and their experiences may differ," unquote. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, that is so painfully stupid. Reading it felt almost like sticking a nail into my eye. So now you get the idea. Today's article from Everyday Feminism is called, "You Don't Have to Hate Women to Be Sexist. Everyday Ways You May Be Sexist Without Knowing It." Now, of course, it's very true. You don't have to hate women to be sexist, but after reading this article, you probably will, so that should make things a lot easier. The article explains that even though you like women, and may even support one of them and help her raise the children she mysteriously keeps coming up with from somewhere, you may still be committing microaggressions against her by treating her as if she were a woman, instead of treating her like a man who, for some reason, keeps producing children through the vagina she may or may not have. Having this woman explain to you that you're committing microaggressions against her is very important because it reminds you that you may have forgotten to tell her to stop talking. Take a moment and tell her now, and the microaggressions will go away. According to the article, microaggressions may, quote, "take the form of jokes, like telling a woman to get back in the kitchen," unquote. Clearly, this illustrates a lack of communication between men and women, because apparently some women think this is a joke. That's why their men start getting hungry and cranky, which may explain some of the microaggression. This situation would be alleviated if the women would get back in the kitchen and make a damn sandwich. Actually, this is a very helpful article. Another common form of sexist microaggression, the article says, is chivalry. Acts of chivalry, like opening doors for women or paying for dinner, are, quote, "small acts of condescension steeped in assumptions that women are delicate, incapable, and need to be tended to," unquote. This, of course, is ridiculous. If women were delicate and needed to be tended to, they would go around blaming their unhappiness on make-believe acts of aggression no one else could see. And they would never do that, unless they were feminists, who, of course, are very delicate and need to be tended to. So, that's Everyday Feminism. You may now return to sticking a nail in your eye. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shaped, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
Hooray, hurrah, it's our 200th episode. Hey, and here, wait, we have a balloon. We spare no expense in this show. I love the fact that 100 episodes, I got like cake and people threw confetti at me. It's like, oh, it's 200, you take your balloon. It's very exciting. We're actually going to show you for our 200th episode, and I haven't seen this yet, we have the making of our theme song. So let's see how this theme song came into being.
Testing.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shaped, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
No Muslims were hurt in the filming of that video. Or maybe one of them. We may have just shot one of them at the very end, I think. That was just for the sound effect, though, right? Yeah. All right. That was it. Took the entire Daily Wire staff to make that video, so you should appreciate it every time you hear it. All right, we're going to talk about the debate, the vice presidential debate. What were we talking about again? Oh, the vice presidential debate. All right, who won? Does anybody care? And then with a big story, there's a big story that actually nobody is covering, and we'll talk about that as well. And It's Mailbag Day, the mailbag. You know, Lindsay is coming to visit on Monday, I think. So we should record her woohoo so we can actually play it on the show. Because you guys suck. I mean, no offense or anything, but just, all right. What else? So you can watch on Facebook and YouTube for 15 minutes, and then your eyes will just go black and you won't see anything. But you can come to the Daily Wire and hear the rest, or you can download us on iTunes or SoundCloud. But if you subscribe, it's so easy. 30 days for free. You can watch the whole thing as it's happening on the Daily Wire. Come back. You can come back later, right? And it's still there. You can see the whole thing on the Daily Wire. And it's just 30 days for free and then a lousy $8. And I'm signing all the stickers. I'm almost through signing the stickers for the books that were pre-ordered. The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ. I'm getting sick and tired of plugging myself, which I hate doing. So this will be like the last week I'll probably be plugging it. And if you forget, you're going to miss the great experience of reading this memoir. People, so help me, people are writing me, telling me this book is changing their lives, which maybe their lives were great before. Now they suck. I'm not sure. But at least there's a change going on. All right. So who won? Pence won the debate, right? Yeah. Pence won the debate. I mean, Kaine, the thing about the Clinton campaign is they're so practiced. Like everything they do is written, and you can hear the strategy session going on. It's like sometimes you watch a movie and you can hear the development meeting taking place behind the scenes. This is Kaine came in, who's obviously his strategy was to interrupt and goad Pence into doing something, getting angry, so that Pence, they could say, oh, these are two guys out of control. And instead, Kaine came across like a squirrel. It was just like, here, he interrupted 72 times. Somebody counted them. Here's just a little bit of that.
Love Russia. You both
their heavy-handed approach.
You both have said Vladimir Putin is a better
hang on
leader than President.
Elaine, thank you, Senator.
These guys have praised Vladimir Putin as a great leader.
We will
How can they defend
Senator.
that?
We do have
And paid a few taxes and lost $1 billion a year. You are Donald Trump's apprentice. Let me talk about this
Senator,
issue. Okay, now I can weigh in.
She had a private server
I get to weigh in
that
now.
was
Let me just say
discovered overrun by ISIS. Because Hillary Clinton failed to renegotiate.
More American troops in Iraq, you can propose that.
Like, shut up. It's like having like a kid, mommy. It's like, be quiet. I'm trying to talk to somebody here. All right. Kaine's other strategy was to go after Trump. Which that's a good strategy. A lot of canned lines. But here was his attack on Trump. The Kaine on Trump, number 3.
And I just want to talk about the tone that's set from the top. Donald Trump during this campaign has called Mexicans rapists and criminals. He's called women slobs, pigs, dogs, disgusting. I don't like saying that in front of my wife and my mother. He attacked an Indiana-born federal judge and said he was unqualified to hear a federal lawsuit because his parents were Mexican. He went after John McCain, a POW, and said he wasn't a hero because he'd been captured. He said African Americans are living in hell, and he perpetrated this outrageous and bigoted lie that President Obama is not a U.S. citizen. If you want to have a society where people are respected and respect laws, you can't have somebody at the top who demeans every group that he talks about. And I cannot believe that Governor Pence will defend the insult-driven campaign that Donald Trump has run.
So a lot of commentators, especially on the left, which is where most commentators are, but a lot of them said, well, Pence didn't defend Trump. And there are two reasons for that. Some of the things Trump has said are indefensible. I mean, he's got a big mouth and he says stupid things all the time. So why should he defend him? But also, it's not his job to go on defense. It's his job to constantly be on offense. That is how you win a debate. And that is what Trump didn't do. This is Trump's tick. So here's Pence's response to this stuff.
He says ours is an insult-driven campaign. Did you all just hear that? Ours is an insult-driven campaign. I mean, to be honest with you, if Donald Trump had said all the things that you said he said in the way you said he said them, he still wouldn't have a fraction of the insults that Hillary Clinton leveled when she said that half of our supporters were a basket of deplorables. She said they were irredeemable. They were not America. I mean, it's extraordinary. And then she laid one after another ism on millions of Americans who believe that we can have a stronger America at home and abroad, who believe we can get this economy moving again, who believe that we can end illegal immigration once and for all. So, Senator, this insult-driven campaign. I mean, that's small potatoes compared to Hillary Clinton calling
Senator
half
Kaine,
of Donald Trump's supporters a basket of deplorables.
Are you watching, Donald? I mean, that is how it's done. You know, if he had said, even if he had said half the things, so he doesn't deny it, he says even if he had said half the things, it wouldn't be as bad as calling all our, and numerically, that's right. You know, you call one judge, you know, a damn Mexican or whatever it was Trump said about the guy. Yeah, is that deplorable? Absolutely. But you call all of those supporters, half those supporters, deplorable. You know, numerically, you're right. It was good stuff. And if Trump had anything like that kind of style, he would blow Clinton off the stage. You know, people were talking about, in a debate like this, the moderator, Elaine Quijano from CBS, and a lot of people on the right at this point complaining about moderators and the press is knee-jerk because you're always right. So it's not like hitting a barn door. It's like hitting the sky. You can't miss if you're attacking the media for bias because they're always biased. But I have to say, I thought under the circumstances, was she biased? Yes, she was. Some of her questions to Pence were more challenging than to Kaine. She let Kaine go wild, and she stopped Pence constantly whenever he went over time. You know, she was biased, but it looked to me more like unconscious bias than the kind of attack Candy Crowley stuff that we usually see. So I thought she was okay. But the one thing I just want to point out, there was a poll today that came out, a really interesting poll. Nearly 3/4 of Americans, and this sounds like a tangent, but it's not, nearly 3/4 of Americans don't trust that there is a large scientific consensus amongst climate scientists on human behavior being the cause of climate change. In other words, most people, 3/4 of Americans, have not bought in to the climate change thing. And the reason I bring this up is because the press threw everything it has at this. Just like Brexit, they threw the kitchen sink at that. This was the government's chance to take over the left's chance to take over the energy industry. They've already tried to take over healthcare. They've come very close to taking over healthcare. This was their chance. And if they could just make you go screaming through the street that if you drove a car or if somebody fracked or if somebody drilled for oil, it was going to destroy the world, if they could just make you believe that, it was worth it. So they called us deniers. They compared us to Holocaust deniers. They did everything. 3/4 of the people don't buy it. So it's right. We should continue to attack the bias because these guys are a bunch of lying scum. That's the first thing. I mean, come on. It's frustrating to have these guys from the New York Times with their excellent educations and their incredible suits and their expensive haircuts just come to work and lie to us and try to tell us that Brexit is going to destroy the economy and Trump is like King Kong and the world is falling apart if we don't give them all the power they want. It's offensive on its face, but it doesn't mean that people are going to buy it. And I've told this story before, but when I was a reporter, I remember walking into a Cracker Barrel store and a guy sitting there literally playing checkers on a Cracker Barrel turned to me and made fun of me for being a reporter. And he said, if I open the newspaper and it says there was a train crash, I think, well, maybe. And I think that's the way people look at the press, and they're right. The press lie. All right, so back to the debate. So that's just a comment on the moderator and how bad this always is. The thing is that Pence also won because the Obama record, which Clinton has to partake of because she hasn't said anything that's going to change, the Obama record is so bad. And that's the thing. Let's listen to Pence on the economy, just because he was so much more realistic than the media has been or anybody has been on the economy.
I think he's a very fitting running mate for Hillary Clinton. Because in the wake of a season where American families are struggling in this economy, under the weight of higher taxes and Obamacare and the war on coal and the stifling avalanche of regulation coming out of this administration, Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine want more of the same. It really is remarkable that they actually are advocating $1 trillion in tax increases, which I get that. You tried to raise taxes here in Virginia and were unsuccessful. But $1 trillion in tax increases, more regulation, more of the same war on coal, and more of Obamacare.
And on terrorism also, Kaine on terrorism tried to defend the record on terrorism by going back to Osama bin Laden. Not only did they kill Osama bin Laden, they keep digging him up and killing him again. At this point, Osama bin Laden is like, all right, I'm sorry. Like, stop killing me over. Here is Kaine on the Hillary's record on terrorism, which is
the terrorist threat has decreased in some ways because bin Laden is dead. The terrorist threat has decreased in some ways because an Iranian nuclear weapons program has been stopped. The terrorist threat to United States troops has been decreased in some ways because there's not 175,000 in a dangerous part of the world. There's only 15,000, but there are other parts of the world that are challenging. Let me tell you this. To beat terrorism, there's only one candidate who can do it, and it's Hillary Clinton. Remember, Hillary Clinton was the senator from New York on 9/11. She was there at the World Trade Center when they were still searching for victims and survivors. That seared onto her the need to beat terrorism. And she's got a plan to do it. She was part of the national security team that wiped out bin Laden. Here's her plan to defeat ISIL. First, we got to keep taking out their leaders on the battlefield. She was part of the team that got bin Laden, and she'll lead the team that will get Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS. Second, we got to disrupt financing networks. Third, disrupt their ability to recruit on the internet in their safe havens. But fourth, we also have to work with allies to share and surge intelligence. That's the Hillary Clinton plan. She's got the experience to do it.
So this brings me to this story that's been buried, basically, but we can't tell it to you until we say goodbye to our friends on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll see you over at the Daily Wire.